Okay, so it's a great question to see if Leafs Nation is overreacting to what the Toronto Maple Leafs have been struggling lately. And yes, I do not live in Toronto bubble. I watch a lot of hockey and obviously I follow the Leafs. But I'm also interested to find out what the rest of the league is thinking of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And a lot of people I talk to have been saying up until yesterday, the Leafs are fine. They're top three in the Atlantic Division. Look at all that they've been, going through this year, and they still are comfortably in a playoff spot. But when you wake up on Thursday morning, all of a sudden, you're not in the top three in the Atlantic Division. You're in a wild card spot. You're only 2 points up on Pittsburgh and 2 points up on Washington and only 2 points up on the New York Islanders. All of a sudden, yeah, the rest of the league is going to start to react and react in a negative way to what's been happening to the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? You look at internally, Austin Matthews, he was going to run away with the Rocket. It was going to be his trophy and nobody else close. He still got 34 goals, but all of a sudden, Sam Reinhart is a goal back to Austin Matthews, and all of a sudden the rest of the league is looking at this and saying, okay, what's wrong with Austin Matthews? Why is he not running away with it? Willie Nylander signed an 8-year extension, right? Lots of money. So everybody's thinking, Willie Nylander's having a great season. But on Thursday morning, you wake up and you realize Willie Nylander hasn't had a point in 4 games. Martin Jones, great story, third-string goaltender, having a ton of success, is able to steady the ship with the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? But then you wake up on Thursday morning and Martin Jones hasn't won in 3 games. And Ilya Samsonov didn't win his start when he returned. And we don't know when Joseph Woll is going to be back. So, yes, there's a ton of expectations when it comes to market, right? If Boston loses 3 in a row, everybody in Boston is going to go panicking. But the rest of the league is not going to panic because you are standing in a comfortable spot. Tampa, they lose 3 in a row. Everybody's panicking in Tampa. Why? Because they've had those expectations. They're Stanley Cup winners. But the rest of the league may think, well, Tampa is not as good as what they once were. There's tons of teams like that around the NHL that their fan base overreacts right away, but you have to wait for the rest of the league to kind of catch up to what's happening in Toronto. So here's what I would say. It's only an overreaction depending on the expectations that you have for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you think that the Maple Leafs are a playoff spot, and right now they're on the verge of being out of the playoffs, it's okay to overreact. They shouldn't be in that position. They should be top 3 in the Atlantic, and their recent struggles has put them out of the top 3 into a wild card spot, and soon could be out of a playoff spot. But if you think that the Leafs are a Stanley Cup contender, then your overreaction of their lack of success is not really in the right way, the right thing. The Leafs are not a Stanley Cup contender. They have way too many issues right now. When you look at Winnipeg and Vancouver and the Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers, those are Stanley Cup contenders. But the Leafs are not. So I would say, depending on your expectations, yes, it could be an overreaction in the Leafs bubble right now. But when you start looking around the league, I think that everybody is realizing that the Leafs have some big issues and they're going to need to turn that ship around and start winning games, because if not, you're going to fall out of a playoff spot.